Hey, we're inside now. We're going to tell you a little bit about the inside of your unit. First thing we're going to start out with is this monitor panel. Now, I spent a little time telling you about winterization and all that, and I told you there's a monitor panel inside. This right here is the monitor panel, and these are, you have your fresh tank, holding tank, gray 1 and gray 2, and battery. Now to test those, what you do is this test button, like that. Now it tells me my fresh water tank's full. My holding tank, gray tanks are all empty, and your battery is fully charged. It's a new battery, plus we're plugged in, so it's going to show that. The proper way to get a kind of what your battery is to unplug the unit and then do this, and it'll tell you where your battery stands, because by doing that, right now our unit's plugged in, so the converter is charging the battery and it's saying that it's totally charged. But that would be a way of doing that. Now this little button right here is for your water pump. Turn that on, the red button comes on, and what that is let's say I was camping at a place that does not have a water hose, so I filled up my fresh water tanks. As soon as I'm done, I get the unit level, we've put the rooms out and everything, turn the pump on, and for that week that I'm camping, I would just leave it like that, because until I turn on a faucet, no water will come out. As soon as I open a faucet, the pump will pressurize it and push water out. When I close the faucet, it'll turn off. So you don't have to keep turning that button on and off, just leave it on. If you ever hear the pump running after this is on, if it doesn't turn off, that means you have a leak somewhere. So it's a good way to see if you have any leaks is by having the system pressurized and leaving the pump on. This right here is the gauge for your generator, so it tells you how much gas is in there. Now it reads empty. I started the generator for you. We put 5 gallons of gas in it for you, just so you can see that the unit does run. So before you go camping, if you need your generator, make sure you put more gas in it. This is the hour counter that the generator has. It's showing that it has no hours on it. Of course your unit has been tested and run, but it was before they hooked it up to this counter. Like I said, 2 hours a month, and this will keep track of that. Make sure you do that with a load, so turn everything on. You can start it from inside with this button right here, just like the outside button where it says stop. You'll push that down. This little light right here is going to come on in a second. Once it does that, hit it. The unit starts. To turn it off, just push stop again. This right here is for your awning. You have an electronic awning. It's as easy, and it's kind of nasty out and kind of windy, so we didn't want to really run it out for you. But if you wanted it to go out, it says out here, you'd push the button, keep it pushed in, the awning will go out. You can open your door and watch it go out, and put it wherever you wanted it to be. And to bring it in, you just push the button in, keep it pushed in till it hits the trailer. When it hits the trailer is when it's in. We have slides, and we purposely did this. We're going to run the slides out so you can see what happens. I told you there was one button for all 3 slides, so you don't have 3 different buttons. So we're going to push this button, run it out. First thing that's going to go out is your bedroom slide, because it's the smallest slide. Hydraulics work that way. But as you can see, if you turn around, you can see these other ones are moving just a little bit. Well, what will happen is that one will run all the way out, and then it'll pick up to the next slide, and then the next slide. And as you can see, it's not scraping the carpet, and I wanted you to see how much room you had in here, so you can't really store anything in these areas when the slides are in. Now, see this door right there? That goes to a bathroom. I had already checked, but I want you, before you run the slides out, I want you to make sure that door is shut still, because if not, that can get hung up on the other side of that horseshoe, and you can actually rip that door off because it'll catch that doorknob. So check that door. It's so important that you check that door before you run your rooms in or before you run your rooms out. Now, we ran it out, so we've talked about all this. We have a couple things here. This is a button for outside speakers on and off. Subwoofer, on or off. That's this thing down here. You have inside speakers, on or off. Then we have step light, security light on one side, security light on the other side. And these are just all on-off switches. So, you have another thing here. It says battery hookup required for slide operations. Now, let's say in the wintertime, like me, I would take the battery out when it's fully charged, and I'd take it inside so it doesn't freeze. So, let's say the battery wasn't in it, we had it plugged in. I could actually still run the rooms in and out, but you're taking the chance of blowing the fuses on the converter. You do need to have a battery hooked up so the motor on that hydraulic pump gets enough amperage to run correctly. If not, you're damaging the unit. So make sure you have a battery hooked up. They didn't stamp that in there just for the heck of it. Make sure you have a battery hooked up. You have a radio here, on or off right here, but it's also a DVD player. You press this button right up here in the corner, it opens. You can put a DVD, CD, whatever in there. And this face also comes off because it's no good to anybody. The radio isn't if you have the face, and it's got a little plastic case in one of the drawers. We'll show you here in a little bit to carry that around with you or store it somewhere when you're not using the unit. It's a great system. It's hooked up through the TV already. You have surround sound when you're watching a movie or listening to a DVD. Awesome system. Your TV does have it can pull out and turn, but when you are going to tow, what I need you to do is hook up the strap here, because this TV, like I said, it's on a swivel, so it does need to be strapped when you're towing. Make sure it's pushed all the way in. Get this strap, hook it up, and pull it tight. Now, what I would do is get something in there or wrap this around it like we do for you so it doesn't scar your TV as you're towing. And I'll go ahead and do that for you. Just like that. That way it hits there, it's hitting that strap instead. Now, down here, this right here is your fuse box. Now, it's 110 breakers, 120 breakers, and then you have a 12 volt side. Now, that converter outside, like I said, it's plugged into 110, so when it's plugged in, it's charging your battery, but it's also working this 12 volt side. So, you're plugged in, you have two 50 amp, actually two 50 amp breakers for the entire unit because you have two ACs. Now, just like the two 50 amp mains, you have two 30 amp here plus the three 35 amps on your converter. So remember, you have those, the rest are 15s. Now we know when these blow because they kick halfway. You got to turn them all the way off to reset them, then turn it on. These right here, see the red dots? If that dot right there lights up, the fuse next to it is blown, and go ahead and replace that fuse with the same fuse that was in there. So that's how you know if they blow. Now, you have a couple things that are running constantly when the unit is parked in the yard if you haven't turned your battery disconnect off. Your radio uses 12 volt power. Your LP detector right there uses 12 volt power. And then you have a TV antenna boost that uses 12 volt power. Those three things will run your battery dead if you left this sitting in the yard, haven't used it in a week, and you didn't turn your battery disconnect off. Now, talking about your battery disconnect. Well, first let me talk about this right here. This is your LP detector. It's close to the floor because it is, the gas is heavier than air, so you'll get the first notice that you have a gas leak here. But this unit is hardwired into your 12 volt fuse side. So, as long as you're plugged in or you have a good battery up front, you're getting 12 volt, and this protection is given to you. So there's no battery needed to change, a couple times a year with this. Unlike your smoke detector, which is right here, or your carbon monoxide detector that we talked about earlier, and I'll show you that. It's in your bedroom. So, the smoke detector, carbon monoxide detector, has batteries you need to change a couple times a year. This does not. It's hardwired into your fuse box, so just keep that in mind. So, now, we talked about things that will wear your battery down. Those three things I told you a minute ago. This is your battery disconnect. Now, when it's pushed in, your battery is disconnected. So, nothing, if it wasn't plugged in, it was parked in the yard right now, all your 12 volt would be disconnected, your battery would not wear down. But when you want everything to work, you pull this out. Now, with this pulled out, let's say we were towing your vehicle, your car or truck would charge the battery as long as this is pulled out. If it's pushed in and you're towing, your truck will not charge the battery. Or if that's pushed in and we're plugged in, your converter is not charging the battery. So if you want your battery to be charged while you're using it or while you're towing, you want that out. The only time you really want that pushed in is if you're parked it in the yard or at your storage spot or whatever. Push that in, it kills all 12 volt power. So remember that's there and use it. Okay, we'll go back here. Microwave, just like any microwave. If you've used one, you've used them all. This is your stove. Now, remember I told you about your valves on your propane tanks. All the way up open. So make sure both of them are all the way on, open, all the way up. We turned it on. Now what I'm doing right now is I'm purging the system of air. Okay? I turned it like that. I lit one burner. Right now, the unit's purged of air. Now, I know you're probably saying purged of air. Why is there air in my propane tanks? All tanks totally full or 80% gas, 20% air. You have vertical tanks, the valves are up top. Gas is heavier than the air, so the gas settles to the bottom when it's not used, pushing the air to the top. We have to get rid of that air before anything in gas will work properly. So you park the unit, you level it, you put your rooms out. First thing I want you to do is purge a system of air, just like one burner. As soon as you've lit it, turn it off, you're purged. You can turn everything else on gas on. Now, I showed you how to light them. This is your sparker. It turns one way to the right. Each time you turn it, it sparks. Now, unfortunately, your oven does not do that. If you want to start your oven, you turn this button right here to pilot. You push it in. I'm going to give you a stick lighter. Now, this screw underneath in the back is where you're going to light your pilot light with that stick lighter. With this pushed in, you light that pilot light. Once the pilot light's lit, you hold this in for 20 seconds. After 20 seconds, you let off, the pilot light stays lit, you turn it to the temperature you want, and that's how it works. When you're done, let's say you're still going to cook, you turn it to pilot because you're not using your oven right now, the pilot light stays lit. But if you're going to go to bed or you leave your unit, I want you to turn that pilot light off. Because we were taught as kids, pilot lights are safeties, they are, but you don't need an open flame in your trailer if you're not using it. You have all these other protectors. You have your LP detector, smoke detector, carbon monoxide detector. If you have a gas leak, your detector will go off. You have to get out because it's really loud. Turn your tanks off and have it worked on. So, purge the system. Light the oven with a stick lighter because the sparker only works the top. It does not work the oven. You have a switch here for a light. You have another switch right here for the lights in the camper. A couple of them lit up just to get you in the door. This switch right here is for a fantastic fan, which is this right here. Now if you look up there, you have a dial. It says 0, 1, 2, 3. 0 is off. 1, 2, or 3 are 1's slow, 2's medium, 3's high. You have another little thing right there. That's a fuse. Now, let's say right now it's probably on 3. It is. Now, with that has to be on either 1, 2, or 3 for this to work. We turn the fan on. Now we're going to raise it. It electronically, 12 volt, raises that top. When it gets to a certain area, the fan automatically comes on. Now, I want to shut the fan off and shut that cap. I'm going to put lower. It's going to come down. When it gets to a certain point, it turns the fan off. So, remember, if you have the fan off, you can raise that and lower it. Nothing's ever going to come off. If the fan's on, that's how it'll work. But you can also turn it off up there too, but most people can't reach it and they won't mess with it. So, back here you have a refrigerator. Now, this refrigerator works on gas or electric. So, turn it on. We push the button. We're going to push it to auto. And the way we know it's on auto is because it has a little dot right here that says auto. You have auto or LP. We have it in auto. What auto means is we have our gas on. We purge the system of air so we know we have gas. The unit's plugged in so we know we have electric. This unit can run on gas or electric. If it senses both, it wants to run on electric. It picks electric. But since we have it in auto, let's say a thunderstorm comes and knocks the power out. It will automatically jump over to gas and keep running just as efficiently. but when the power comes on, it automatically jumps back over to electric and keeps running. So it's kind of a fail-safe deal by you putting it on auto, because if I went outside and I unplugged it, because you can use these while you tow, as soon as I unplug it, it's going to jump to gas and keep running. So that's how you can use it when you're towing. Just keep it in auto, and you can keep that running. You have a temperature setting by pushing it. You have a 3 to 5 degree temperature change you can make. But it also has some startup instructions here. If you forget and don't want to watch the tape, it'll tell you how to do it right there. Right here, nice big refrigerator. But this thing right here slides up and down on that fin. Really and truly, the coldest part of this refrigerator is up here in this corner. If you slide it up, that keeps it not real cold. Keeps it good enough, so I'd leave it where it's at if I was you. But you can slide it down if everything's freezing. You can slide that down if the temperature control isn't doing what you need to, and it'll warm it up a little bit. There's that. Now, in here, you have a bunch of remotes. Remote for the TV, remote for the radio. You have another remote right there for the radio. This is a remote for basically almost everything other than your TV or radio. Now, if we turn the power on, it's going to come on. We're going to press up and select at the same time, and it's going to say now press the select key. I press select. The main slide right there, I can run it in or out. Press select again. Front landing gears, I can put them up or down. Press it again. Rear stabilizers, up or down. Press it again. Awning, in or out. Press it again. Contrast, darkness of this screen or lighter, up or down. Now, when it's said right here, main slide, what'll happen is you press the button, it's going to, just like that switch right there, it's going to run the bedroom in, then this room, then that room, all by pressing this. So keep that in mind also. You have a light out here that there's no switch to other than this button right here. You press that, it'll come on. If you don't press that again and turn it off, it's going to stay on. So keep that in mind. Then you have a little flashlight here for it. But what I do need you to do when you're done using it, turn it off. You can use this outside, set everything up, help get everything level. That's what that's for. You have a ton of paperwork here. But in this paperwork, it's paperwork on each different appliance. You also have warranty cards in here. You have 10 to 14 days by the time you get this unit to fill them out and send them in. Very, very important that you do that. Don't miss out on that warranty you have with each different appliance. This is the case to store your radio face in if you want to do that. You have corian countertops, which are real nice. But you have that ground fault plug I was telling you about that was outside. This is the push button receptacle that works all that. Now all your outside, all your wet areas, outside kitchen and bathroom are all on the same ground fault plug. And that's this right here. Light right here. I was looking for something, that's why I opened that. See this on this refrigerator? It says it's 29 degrees in there. That is not totally accurate. That's kind of a dummy light. Like in your car, it has some, you know, everything's called a dummy light. This is called a dummy temperature thing. It's within 3 to 5 degrees of that of what that says. Now, this is not a compressor-driven refrigerator. So, I open this door. I keep it open for a couple seconds. It takes about 2 to 3 hours to get it back to temperature. So, don't let the kids come out, pull it open, figure out what they want. Make sure they know what they're getting, they do it right away. This also takes 8 to 12 hours to cool to temperature. So let's say we're leaving on Friday. On Thursday I would light this or turn it on to get it cold. It will not cool down any faster than 8 to 12 hours. So keep that in mind too. We come back here and we have quite a few things back here. We have a fire extinguisher by the door, so you can grab it as you're running out the door. You have about 1 second per pound of put out power, so whatever that weighs, you have 1 second per pound. This right here, you have a light that's outside, right out on the trailer, and then this light right here to get you some lights in here. This button right here is for this unit right here. It runs these beds up and down. Now you have 4 silver pins. If you look right here, let me run this down just a little bit. What'll happen once we get it down to where you can see it, and actually the pins are already in it. So with this pin in here, there's one in each corner. It's going to keep this bed where it's at, but it's going to let this one come down. That's for, this is a table for if you wanted to eat back here. You could put these legs down and then run it down, and what will happen when the legs hit the ground, it'll pick the table up. It'll continue to go down to a certain area, and then you have bench seats to eat at your table. I'm just running this down to show you that these 2 center cushions right here will pop up. The bed picks up if the legs are down, and that's where the table back here is. You also have another table on the underneath this cushion right here that goes up in front of the sofa, and we'll show you where that would go anyways when we use it. Now, when you're not using it, the best thing to do, keep the table up under here, store it that way, pick it up, put it to the roof, that way it doesn't bounce around and come out and get broken or scratched when you're not using it. You have some emergency exit right there, make sure the kids know how to do it. I'll show you that in a second. I'm going to get this up to where I can walk under it. Okay. Pull this up, pull it out, and push it open. Now, pull the screen out and jump out. This is also a working window though, because it has a screen and you can put it like that. It'll keep the window open. If you want to shut it, just pull it in, bring it over, shut it like that. Make sure all the kids know how to use that. I think that's real important. Now, let's say you wanted on this bed to bring the top bed down. All you got to do is run this down just a little bit to where you can get to them pins. Pull each pin out. You have one in each corner. See the white rail? If you go up that, you'll find a pin there, pin here, pin there. Pull it down while it's still kind of in this position, and then as you run it down, the top bed will come down to about here. The second bed will come down to about here, and you have 2 bunks. There's your 2 vents that I was telling you about, and I'll show you how they both work the exact same way. Right here in the center, you're going to squeeze it, and you can open it that way or that way, whichever way you want the wind to come in and kind of air out this area. Over here you have a switch for your fans up there, but there are switches on the fans that you can turn them on and off. You have a thermostat here for this air conditioner that's above these beds. You also have a heat strip in that in that air conditioner. You have up and down for temperature. If you want to go up, you push up, down you push down. But on heat, you're going to have just the fans going to come on, and then it's kind of like a hair dryer. You got a heating element, and it's like a big hair dryer that'll blow out, and it's not meant to. If it's 20 degrees, it's not meant to warm this area. It's meant for like spring mornings when it's cool, just to get the nip out of the air. That's all that one's for. If you need heat, there's one register that'll blow heat from the main furnace out here. So keep that in mind. This works this air conditioner. You have another one up there that we'll see here in a little bit that works the other air conditioner. These 2 lights turn on by switches on the lights themselves. You have a extension cord there. This right here is a door. You have your catch right there. You pick it up and you can store oil, straps, whatever you want down there. And then these things that you're seeing right here, with that door down, this right here, you have one on each side. This would hook onto this black area. You put it through there and hook it. Put the room down. The room's going to come down level. And then this is like a big playpen that opens up, and you'll see in each corner it has one of these that you'll take off, pick it up, and then put it into the hole that holds it up. And it's like a great big playpen when you get it up. Pretty nice little deal. And it also has that awning. I showed you that awning arm on this pillar. If you go all the way up, that's where you hook it to run the awning, and it's on the outside of the trailer to run that awning out. You have tie downs all through here for your toys. You have 3 benches here for your bar out there at your kitchen, a seat. You have a carpet here that covers this entire area if you want it to be carpeted. You have 2 ladders, the 2 small ones on top. One's for here, one's for out there, and I'll show you in a little bit to get up to the top bunk or get up to the outer area. And then the big ladder on the bottom is the one that goes on the side. And I told you it had pins. Those silver pins have to go through the scutcheon, through that, and get snapped on all 4 before you ever tried to climb up in there. You have a refrigerator here, and this refrigerator is not like that refrigerator because the unit has to be plugged in, and then that refrigerator is a compressor driven refrigerator, and it works on electric. So if it was my unit, I'd store all the pop, all the stuff the kids will eat and stuff in this refrigerator, because when you open that door and you shut it, that refrigerator cools down a lot faster than the other refrigerator. Remote control for this TV, it also has a strap. This right here is for, you can hook up with this on, the little blue button on, you can hook an iPod into there. It plays through the speakers that are up in the roof there. The TV comes on, you press select again, and it'll play TV through the speakers, and the front radio, press select again, and it'll play through the speakers. Up and down is the volume. This is on or off. So I pressed it, and now the blue button's off, it's off. So, right here we have another half bath. You have a toilet and a sink in there. We'll talk more about that when we get to the other bathroom, but you do have a half bath back here. So, I think I've pretty much told you everything. You do have a 2,500 pound maximum for this capacity cargo area back here. And remember, when those things are in here and they have gas, you do get vapors and everything in here, so use your vents so you don't have that vapor in your trailer. So, I told you about the 3 ladders you have. You had 1 ladder that got to the bunk when it was down, but you also have this bunk area up here. You can use the ladder over here to get up to it. So just remember, but the ladders do have to be put away when you're not using it, so the slide doesn't ruin it. This is the other thermostat for the other AC. So this is the main one. This is the one that works the furnace and works the one air conditioner. So you have, just like the other one, you have fan modes, auto or on, and then you have high and low speed. Up and down for temperatures. Pretty self-explanatory then, but remember, 2 different thermostats. This thermostat out in your living room is the one you'll have to use for your furnace. The other one also says heat, but it's just a little heat strip, kind of like a big hair dryer, like I told you. Keep that in mind also. This right here, nice big couch. You have a drawer that'll pull out here. It has a snap here though. Let's pull that out, snap it. But you have a snap here that will, let's see if there's anything in there. Nothing in there right now. We'll shut it and snap it to where it doesn't come open in transit. You have another one right here in the center that has all your hoses for your vacuum that I showed you outside. The 3 legs for the table that's under your top bunk right here. Remember, when you put the slide in, the table legs have to be stored in here, or you're going to ruin something if they're still standing up there. You have a screen here that'll go up on the back door when that door is down, and you have some Velcro and everything, and it's pretty self-explanatory how it goes up when you get it out. And then you have a blow-up bed right here that goes in this area right here. So keep that in mind also. There's that blow-up bed. Now, like this one, these also have straps for when they're closed, so they don't come open. And then you have another one right here, works just like that one over there, and I'll make sure it's strapped. Okay. You have day-night shades. This is the day shade. In the center, you'll pick up. In the center, you'll pull down. But you also have another one to darken everything. You have one for each window, and they work just like that. In the center, push up, and the center, pull down. Switch right here for these lights, but all these lights have a switch on the wall for them, so they don't come on with this switch. Let's see here. ceiling fan works off this switch right here. Now to turn the fan on itself, it's going to be this button. Okay, or you can turn your light off there or on there, or turn the light off there. You'll only get heat out of the floor registers. You'll only get air conditioner out of the white ceiling vents. Now out of the white ceiling vents, you'll also get fan out of that.